I've hired 2 people through Remote Leverage, and I definitely did my due diligence before I even contacted Remote Leverage because one, like, we're a small business just opening. We don't necessarily have a ton of funds to be paying, $15, $20 an hour for services that we need. So, I looked around at different organizations. I actually, had very terrible customer service experience at other companies because I like had reached out to them first. They didn't call me back. They weren't responsive. One of them was actually very rude to me on the phone. He called me at like 9:30 at night and then like woke me up. So, anyways, I didn't have great experiences with these other places. And so I found Remote Leverage. I've always had again, a wonderful experience. The young lady who I get the same one every time. She always helps me out. Princess, I believe is her name. She's amazing. She always finds people very quickly. She's on top of it. Anytime I ask her for something, like I asked her for my new virtual assistant's resume at like 10 p.m. last night, and it was in my inbox in like 3 minutes. So, and it had been hours since I had talked to her, right? So, I appreciate that attentiveness. Starting up a new business, obviously, I'm working with a lot of new companies. And so you don't always get that, which is super aggravating. So, to have that level of customer service is always appreciated, So I definitely would recommend Remote Leverage for any sort of those needs. And I'll definitely be back if I need another. So we're a small family-owned psychiatric practice. And so I was really struggling with the administrative side of owning a small business. This is the first time that I've ever owned a small business and a private practice. Initially underestimated, one, the demand for services, and then two, how much the phone is going to ring throughout the day, right? And so I was trying to juggle both at once, providing patient care and answering the phones, calling referrals, all those important things that happen behind the scenes in a medical practice that, not owning one, you really may not notice, right? And so I opened the practice in September and immediately started drowning. And thus I had to get a solution very fast. So that's why I came to you all. I mean, I think the initial fear that you have is that your patient population is not going to jive with them well, if you will, right? And so where I live in the southern U.S., I was concerned about maybe the patient has like an accent that people aren't used to hearing, and they may not be able to understand them on the phone, or maybe like when my patients are telling the virtual assistant something, maybe there's something lost in translation. Also, and like, I really didn't know what to ask in an interview, right? Like, opening my practice for the first time or opening my own business for the first time. I've never hired anyone before, right? And so I've been interviewed, but I didn't know necessarily what to ask in interview questions. So, that was a little bit, concerning going into it. But the young lady who helped me through the onboarding process and interviews, she was great. She helped me with questions. She was able to she actually would ask some of the harder questions on my behalf, particularly about salary, those sort of things. So definitely a good experience, even though there was some apprehension and fears going into it. This is my second hire. I've hired 2 people through Remote Leverage. And initially I was looking for someone to kind of like a virtual assistant to answer like the phone, to do referrals, those sort of things. So I was looking for a couple of things. One, someone with experience. Two, somebody that had good personality, and I felt that they would be good on the phone because first virtual assistant I hire is always on the phone constantly. And so, I'm looking for clarity of language as well, making sure that the patient speaks, English well, and that I wouldn't think there would be some sort of language barrier. I would say that actually the first experience that I had, I think she presented six candidates. I liked the first one so much that I just stopped the interviews and hired her because she was so great. The second time, it was for a little bit more of intensive role directly related with me. I was looking for a medical scribe. And so this person's going to be like talking with me all day. Thus, and having some background doing that is very important. Again, I reached out to Remote Leverage. They presented 6 candidates and I did interview all of those very in depth. And I thought all of them were phenomenal, but you only can hire one, right? And so I chose the best one that was, within my salary range, that had good qualifications. And so, I thought that the experience that was presented was diverse. So, I was definitely satisfied with the quality of candidate. That was a big fear going in, right? It's like being a medical scribe is a very niche thing. And also, it's not something that I want to spend time training someone to do very in depth. And they were so gracious to find people with already had experience. So that was super beneficial. I mean, it's dramatically improved. And I can just tell you from, just firsthand experience, she, when I hired her, initially the virtual assistant that does the phones, I knew that she was going to take a trip for the holidays around Thanksgiving, and so as part of the employment the negotiation, I was like, that's fine. Like you've got plans already. So she was gone the last 2 weeks, and I can tell you my life was absolutely miserable. I was counting down the days until she came back. So she came back yesterday. Today is Tuesday, right? Yeah. So she came back on Monday. I was very happy to see her. I promptly paid her a Christmas bonus because she's so valuable to me. My life was absolutely miserable for this last 2 weeks, and it was only that way because she was gone, right? And so I knew hiring her going in, it's nothing bad against her. She's phenomenal. This just speaks to her quality. I'm so happy to have her. It's taken a lot of stress off of me. Seeing patients and your phone ringing at the same time it makes you want to speed through the visit, those sort of things. It affects your ability to perform. I don't have to worry about that anymore because I have her in my life, essentially.